We have a huge weekend kicking off tomorrow in Watch of Realms, so let's break it all down. Two enormous banners are arriving. We have Sun Wukong starting tomorrow, his second rerun ever, the third total run of his banner ever, and then we get the new exceptionally spicy unit, Ryzen, along with Yuri, coming on Friday. Both of these banners are running through October the 20th, aka next Monday, and both banners are exceptionally good. If you're looking for should you summon videos, I will do those on both banners tomorrow. However, TLDR, yeah, probably. The vast majority of players should be summoning for these units. They are so good. They really are, and they are key solutions to some of the hardest problems in the game. I also am saying both because Ryzen's kind of the star of this banner, but if you don't have Yuri, Yuri is still extremely good in certain content. In Anti-Air Arena, she is the only meta counter to the absolute meta team with all the Valaro wackiness and blah, blah, blah. And then in Gear Aid 3, she is completely viable in the center and actually very good for stages all the way up to 324. She's extremely strong, and they're even running an event for her exclusive artifact. But I want to get into the meat of this, and that is why these banners are so appealing and why I really, really want to make sure no one sleeps on them. Also, guys, if you want to join our pulls party for Raizan and Yuri along with Sun Wukong, we are doing that on Friday. Of course, you can already start pulling for Sun Wukong on Thursday, but I think a lot of people probably have been saving up a lot for this, and if that is the case, there is no reason not to pity manipulate. I'm going to go pretty insanely hard onto these banners. You can see I have, I think, my most diamonds ever, and that's not even counting my next diamonds that should be coming. Those won't be here by this weekend, but I've been saving up for a long time now. 116,000 diamonds, 300 rare summoning crystals. I'm not saying you guys need to have that. I'm not trying to flex on everyone. I'm just trying to illustrate I'm pretty all in on this weekend. So if you are too and you want to have a fun experience as a community, we will be streaming that live on YouTube at noon Eastern time this Friday, October 17th. That is 6 p.m. Central European time. If you want to sign up, you'll find the link in the description in the top pinned comment. And if you always want to sign up right away, you'll see I share it on my Discord, the Fast and Fastidious, in the announcements as well as in the Pulse Party tab. So check it out. I also want to shout out the Discord. People continue to join, and that is very, very, very cool. If you haven't joined yet, join our community. It's the second biggest Watch of Realms community in the game outside of the official server. And yeah, we're getting very close to 10,000 members. So check that out and sign up for the Pulse Party this Friday. Also, guys, we're about to hit 48,000 subscribers. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing. And you would be helping us reach our goal of hitting 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thanks.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
So with Sun Wukong, I think so many people have him A5 now, or so many people don't have Kagiri and are so obsessed with getting Kagiri or getting Kagiri dupes that he has somehow become underrated, which is insane to think about. Like, let's zoom out for a second. Yes, in certain key content, Kagiri is the #1 boss DPS in the game. However, more broadly, Sun Wukong is extremely relevant, especially when you don't have high awakenings in other characters. And even when you do have high awakenings in Wukong and Kagiri, Sun Wukong still gets used literally everywhere. Right? He just isn't #1. He's going to be #2 or 3. Like, let's go to my guild rankings here. Let's check out the boy R-type. It goes Kagiri, Sun Wukong, right? It always goes like that. You know, to some extent, it depends what kind of magic damage you got. But even here, we got an A5 Wukong beating out an A5 Moradin. It's pretty incredible. Also, shout out to Uncle Acid. What the heck? 120k blood. That must be a first ever. I didn't know anyone had broken 120k. That is remarkable. I mean, just look at any of these teams. Like, just don't lose the forest for the trees. Just because you see other people putting up a higher number, that doesn't make this number not exceptionally good. And if we zoom out even a bit further for other pieces of content, for general progression, Wukong is completely and utterly broken. You know, nowadays, it seems a lot of us are so focused on Abyss, and now Matrix is showing up, the disaster that is, and that's where a lot of the conversation goes. But I think a lot of players, I think a lot of Discord members, I think a lot of community activists for Watch of Realms, and I think a lot of content creators lose sight of the fact that a lot of people are not only focused on getting their first ever 60k Abyss team. A lot of people still just need to beat content in this game. And Sun Wukong is such an ultimate cheat code. I mean, just for getting your first Nightmare 4, Sun Wukong, I can try it out. He could like nearly solo this. I mean, that's a stretch, but he could do such a vast majority of the damage. He could easily do 25k plus blood in a 50k run. Getting the other 25k blood from the remaining 4 or 5 DPS you're going to be running, it's really not that hard. He also completely trivializes the shield because he is in a top tier league when it comes to burst DPS, right? And speaking of burst DPS, that'll be a great transition in one moment into Ryzen because his burst is really exceptional as well. But Sun Wukong is just completely and utterly ridiculous for this stuff. I mean, here you go. Him and Kagiri each putting up 50k blood. If you did not know, 1,000 blood is equal to 10 million damage. So when each of these guys are putting up over 500 million damage, over 500 million damage, they're each contributing personally through their damage over 50,000 blood. So pretty remarkable stuff. Also, this is insane too. Uncle Acid, 226k on Nightmare 4. What has been going on lately? I have not kept my eyes on these leaderboards. Another thing I think people lose sight of is when we get into something like APOC, just because there's so many solutions to it now, people forget that Sun Wukong is like the ultimate original solution. He's got the stuns, he's got the burst, he is ridiculous. You know, even at A0, he is so valuable. Here he is again, just neck and neck with Kagiri. And that's the theme you're always going to see. He's completely ridiculous. In PvP, he's still totally relevant in GVG, where Kagiri really isn't used at all. And then in Arena, he's right there with Kagiri on those super top tier teams, right? If we go in and we look at single target, actually here's a team not even using Kagiri, but using Sun Wukong because you have more manual control over that burst DPS. And here's the classic team we're seeing so much now, the Watchguard team with the Ireless, with the Diao Chan, and then of course, Sun Wukong and Kagiri. So I don't want to waste too much more of my breath talking about how good Sun Wukong is. I think we all know, but I just do think it's a little ridiculous that people are acting like he's been power crept or he's not relevant. He is the power creep. He really is. Especially if you've got a young account, even an A0 Wukong will be so freaking strong for you. I mean, let me actually show you. I only A3'd my Sun Wukong a fairly short while ago. This probably only happened 2 months ago whenever they reran his last banner. And as always, I delayed when I actually did it. He was completely functional for me at A0 for an incredibly long amount of time. We're talking 7 months, something like that. So please don't sleep on this guy. Please do yourself a favor and be smart. Another thing that we're going to dive a lot deeper into in tomorrow's video where I do the should you summon on him. The answer is going to be yes, unless you've pulled 6 copies of him, basically, or let's say unless you've pulled 5 copies. I think anyone that even already has him A5, at least go snag that guaranteed copy. They are showing that they like to rerun his banner a lot. Do I think they'll do a 3rd rerun and a 4th total run anytime soon? Yes and no. But clearly he's kind of a mascot hero of the game now. He's from Chinese mythology. I think that's pretty important to them. He's a very famous character and he's easy to advertise in a lot of markets. He just kind of has that name brand recognition. There was that Black Wukong game that came out a year or 2 ago. So I think they probably will be rerunning him. So let's say you have an A5 Sun Wukong who right now you put 3 Soulstones into. You know, if you can get 2 more copies, maybe you pull 1 now and the next time his guarantee comes around, a cheeky little reset is super worth it, I think, for 2 Soulstones back. I'll go a lot deeper into that tomorrow. But that's the TLDR. Now with Ryzen, I actually did underrate something about him in my original guide, which thank you. A lot of you guys took the time to watch. And I felt like from my initial testing his A3 wasn't necessary, but it took him to a new level. But from all my subsequent testing, and I'll show this in a video either tomorrow or Friday, my goal is tomorrow. Actually, the A3 is only a nice to have. It is not that special. Just like the A1 and kind of just like the A2, I'm basically just building up to a point that he's pretty full form at A0. Like he can comfortably fill a major role in a 60k Abyss team at A0. That obviously you're going to need the gear and the other pieces that make that happen. But it's not like you're missing out on so much like with a Kagiri or Wukong, where it's a bit night and day, especially in Kagiri's case, if you don't have a few awakenings into this unit. With Ryzen, he's going to be a extremely high level performer for you from day one out of the gate, regardless of who you have on your account. The only people I would say that don't need to be that excited about him, I would still encourage them to go for him because he's so unique and because he's so good. The uniqueness coming from the fact that he's got such crazy burst TPS as a normal damage dealer, not even piercing, and as a marksman, so he's got the great range, and he's in the Nightmare Council. That's the uniqueness. But I'd say people that already have an A5 Wukong and an A5 Kagiri, you'll probably find more scattered use for him. That being said, if you don't have a Morden, or you don't use your Morden much, or your Morden is missing any awakenings, I think there's an argument you're still going to use a ton of Ryzen. And with future content, I don't see how he won't excel as well. For single target content, he slots in exceptionally well. So there you have it. That is about it. I just think this is a pretty huge weekend. Like I said, if you want even more information, more detail, I will do a should you summon for these banners tomorrow. I'm also going to do a video featuring Ryzen and Abyss at A0 that I think you'll really like. And I'm going to try to fit in an A3 Sun Wukong into that video as well. I think that'd be a pretty cool showcase. I did something similar, but I'm curious exactly how far I can push it. If I take those two and surround them with all the other meta stuff, no Kagiri, what can we accomplish? There you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, we're almost at 50,000 subscribers, so please do subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to sign up for the Pulse Party, link in the description in the top pinned comment. That will be taking place this Friday, October 17th, 12 noon Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.